Hello, everyone who has joined me on this beautiful Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, for the RV Women Hangout. I am without any regular people sitting in the seats that are next to me. If you have attended before, you probably see the same old faces, but anybody who wants to come on is more than welcome. Basically, the Super Bowl is entertaining others that might be here, and Nana's Joy is usually here, and she's at a Super Bowl something. And so now what we have is an opportunity to chat about RVing. Now, I don't have any real specific topic. If anybody wants to throw one out there, go ahead. But basically, my name is RV Lady. I am a full-time RVer. I have been full-time since April of last year. So haven't been doing it as long as some other people have been doing it. But I really enjoy this life. I prepared a long time to do this sort of life. And Alexis D wants to know, do I live alone? Yes, I live alone. And I like that. I don't get lonely. People always ask me that. Don't you get lonely? No. The one thing that I do have, let me tell you about my RV. I have a Winnebago. It is a 1998. I call this my, it's kind of like a practice RV, if you will. And I think everybody should go the practice route. And I did that on a Class C, and I've now done this on this Class A. I like Class A's better. Had them both, like them better. But it's 26 feet long. I have a tow vehicle that I tow behind it. It's a little Suzuki. It's a 1987 Suzuki Samurai. Gets me in and out of everywhere. Four-wheel drive, of course. Okay. Where do I park? Typically, for me, I park in RV parks. I go in and pay. I'm currently in Florida and around the Fort Myers area. And I am here until at least the end of February. If the weather doesn't improve, I'm out of here and I'm going to head west and go back to California, because the desert should be awesome this year. For those of you who are going to the California desert, it should be beautiful because of El Nino. Yes, I typically stay in RV parks that have hookups. So I have sewer, water, and electricity. Some of the RV parks, only offer you water and what's it called? Water and electricity, and then they have a dump station. And those parks are okay too. But if you're staying for an extended stay and you don't have any sewer hookup, then when your black tank gets full, you have to go and dump it at the place where they have it. Sanibel Island. I've already been to Sanibel Island. I am on YouTube once or every other day. And what I do is I make videos about where I've been, what I'm doing, stuff like that. And they're usually a couple days behind what I'm actually doing, because it takes me like a couple of days to edit. But you can find me over at YouTube. Just type in, YouTube/RV Lady. Sanibel Island, I went there, was that last week? I think so, last week. And it was an unusual experience in that The fish were all dead on shore. They're having red tide and terrific storms. And so there were a lot of dead sea creatures on the beach. And if you go over to YouTube, you could actually watch my video about Sanibel Island. I think it's a 1 or 2-parter. And yeah, it was hard to be impressed with a beach full of dead things. So I did, pick up some shells and stuff like that. And I mean, it was like baby sharks, and it was sad. It was kind of a sad experience. So I haven't been back since, because I understand it hasn't gotten any better. So shelling at Sanibel Island is probably better when the stench of dying stuff isn't there. Seriously, it was awful. Let's see, what else? Okay, so does anybody have any questions regarding, because it's probably just going to be a small group of us because of the Super Bowl. And, but I don't watch the Super Bowl and I don't care about the Super Bowl. So how much are your monthly expenses? I guess I could put this over here so everybody could read it. Okay. How much are your monthly expenses, RV? Well, it kind of depends. I can tell you, it's tough to really put a number on it, because it kind of depends on what you're doing. The cheapest thing that you can do, or the least expensive thing that you can do with your RV, is park it. And that way you're not using gasoline. You're hopefully plugged in and have, all kinds of, hopefully your electricity is included in your monthly rate. For example, in the Fort Myers area, and I don't suggest anybody do this, but the monthly rent for an RV is $1,500 a month up. $1,500 a month, and you're, sitting on a highway. Up means you get a better view of something. But yeah, in southern Florida, that's the going rate. Now, there are places where you can boondock. Well, that means you kind of go out into the wilderness and stay for nearly nothing. And if you want to do that, that's far cheaper. Typically, when you're boondocking, there's no hookups, so no electricity, no sewer, no water. You're relying on your RV for all of those things, and which is no big deal, because you can have solar on the top. I wouldn't suggest that for Florida because it's so freaking cloudy here all the time. Or you have a generator. I have a 4,000. Onan 4,000 generator. And that affords me the opportunity to stay any place and turn on my generator, and I've got electricity and air conditioning and all that stuff. But boondocking is quite fun. And sometimes you can go to less expensive parks. Once you get out of Florida, and if you stay away from California, everything else is cheap. Then you're running into the, $250 to $350 a month RV parks with full hookup. Most of them have Wi-Fi. Most of them have, some kind of activities, swimming pools, stuff like that. But Florida and Southern California, especially, muy expensive. Muy expensive. Is your Wi-Fi cellular? I don't really know what that means. I do have a MiFi, which is basically a little device that looks like this. And that is how I access my internet. Now, depending on what kind of deal you make, is that expense, and they sell it to you in the form of gigabytes. So you have to know how many gigabytes you use a month. If you're sitting in your house, still living there, and you've got a way, there should be a way of checking to see how many gigabytes a month you use, whether it's Netflixing or Amazoning or whatever the case may be, for whatever you do. I do 30 gigabytes a month. Now I can keep it at 20. And that is, yes, it was. Okay. I can't, well, yeah, I can. If you see me looking this way, it's because I'm reading your comments. But if you have questions, let's put them over on the question thing so I can pop them up and everybody can see them. But we only have like 11 or 17 people here. I can't quite figure out what that is. But I'm not reading this part over here. That's the comment section. Now, internet's expensive, and you're going to want to shop it, and you're going to want to shop it hard, and you want to make your best deal. Verizon offers the absolute best internet connections anywhere in the United States. If you want to be somebody who lives in an RV yet continues to work, say, online, that's going to be a hefty cost. Everything else is just what everything else is. Food is food, and gasoline is cheaper now, which makes RVing way more fun. In Florida, for example, it is, I think it's running about $279, $280. $179, $180. I've heard it as low as $139. But I'm not driving to Timbuktu to get gas. It just, isn't that important to me. And that's gasoline. Propane is another beast altogether, and that doesn't seem to be affected by how much a barrel of oil is. Typically, propane is about $2.50 a gallon. Or $2.50 a pound. I don't know how they do it because it's measured in pounds, but when you go to the thing, they have it in gallons, so it's kind of a weird thing. But propane is a condensed, pressurized fuel, and it runs your stove and your oven and your heater and your hot water tank. So some of the RVs, not mine, have electric heaters. They do either gas, they do either propane, or they do electric on where you're hooked up. For those RVers, you plug in, you got hot water. Okay, let's put this over here. How do I do that? Oh yeah, right there. Okay, Norma Gibbs wants to know, what do you do if you find out a bad storm is coming and you are in the path of it? I don't know. I don't know. Bend over, kiss your ass goodbye. I don't know. Obviously, my home is on wheels, so I can drive another direction easily enough. Which is, I haven't really run into I haven't run into that situation yet. As I've been crisscrossing America, I really haven't. And it's basically because, I go online, I look and see what the weather is in the direction that I'm going. And if it's not good, then I either delay my trip or go around it, something like that. I'm sure there are some instances where you wouldn't get sufficient warning, like a tornado, for example. And, pedal to the metal and forget about fuel consumption and get the hell out of there. RVs, tents, cars don't do well in tornadoes or hurricanes. But I'm okay in a flood because I'm pretty high up. And I can definitely get out. Okay. Let's see. I hope I answered that question for you, Norma. Basically, you have to, it's kind of like boating. It's the same deal. You have to be continually conscious of the weather. If you have an RV and your awning's out and they're expecting gale force winds, you need to know that so you can put your awning away. If you don't, it will be ripped off your RV. That's very expensive. So you don't want that to happen. So you just watch the weather. Go online, check and see what the weather is. And if it's, sun shining and slightly breezy, you're usually in pretty good shape. If there's a tornado, I don't suggest you drive towards it. And find a place to hide. That's about the only thing you can do is, park under an underpass or something. I don't know. But typically it's not an issue. It really isn't. Okay, what's our next question here? Answer questions. There we go. Let's make this easy. I love easy. Do RVs have water tanks for showers? Yes. There are 3 tanks on board. Okay. Underneath my RV, there are 3 tanks under there. Well, 4 if you count the propane tank, but I don't. One is your freshwater tank, and that's the one that you use to wash dishes. That's your clean water. Wash dishes, take a shower. That's that tank. It's your freshwater tank. That's what the industry calls it, freshwater tank. Then you have your gray tank. Your gray water tank is the shower water that you have used. It is the dishwater that goes, through the sink, whatever, down into a holding tank, which is considered your gray tank. And then you have your black tank, and these are industry words. You have your black tank, which is / your poop tank, and that's your potty tank. And it basically collects, poo and pee. And then when you're emptying those tanks, you always empty your black tank or poop tank first. And the reason you do this is because then you're going to open your gray tank handle, and then that gray tank water is going to flush out the sewer line that you then need to take off and store into your RV. Okay. I was reading some very complex thing. But yes, you do have water to take a shower. Depending on what you're doing, I am currently hooked up to city water. Okay, so I have a hose plugged in to the city water of the RV park that I'm in. So I have unending water, just unending. When I use my freshwater holding tank, my tank, I'm very stingy with water. Showers are extremely short, sailor showers. There's no wasting water when you're boondocking, because my tank, for example, is 40 gallons. That's 40 gallons of water. That's it. So you figure, a gallon a day, maybe 2. If you want to boil rice or whatever, 3. I don't know. But, you have to take that into consideration when you're not hooked up. And most of the RVs now have at least 40-gallon freshwater tanks, at least. Are there any questions that I'm missing? If anybody wants to come on. All you do is click some button and, I haven't been on your side for a long time, so I forget really how to do it, but I remember it being really easy. It should say open seat. There should be a box that says open seat, and you can come in. Let's see, any other questions? Question: can you open your tank while on the road and just release, or does it need special treatment? It does not require special treatment, but it is seriously against the law to open up your tanks and drive down the highway or a road, or just open up your tanks in a field. It's against the law. If you get caught, they are unkind. You are polluting. So it's basically litter, and whatever the state's laws on litter, just figure that you're not paying the minimum if you get caught. You'll be paying the maximum. The same as you, just YouTube RV related things. You'll find loads of information. Oh yeah, YouTube is essential if you are considering a lot of things, but RVing, just every answer to every question that you want is there. And there's a RV community, and basically it covers everything from buying your RV to selling your RV to maintaining your RV, and your the tow vehicle is called a toad, TOAD, and there's everything on there. What do you need in your RV? Okay, question. What is your favorite navigation tool? Atlas, GPS, etc. Okay. Again, it depends on the kind of RVer you are or want to be. I rely on paper maps. Go to AAA, pick up the maps, then I've got them all covered. The reason I do this is because some of the places that I go, or some of the highways that I'm on, there's no internet connection. There's no Wi-Fi. A lot of Texas is that way. You'll drive and there's just nothing. So paper maps are really essential to have. Now, once I get into an area that obviously has Wi-Fi, then I go to my phone's navigation system. What is it? Google Maps. And I just put in there the address of where I want to go, and it gets me there. Hey, it's a small child. Okay, a small child. Are you a small child boy or girl?
Which one is it? Which one are you?
Okay, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh no, God, don't do that. No, I'm cutting you off now.
Just check.
Okay, bye.
No, please, no. Please.
Please don't.
Look, I want to show you my...
I got to do this because, yes, Barbie. We don't do Barbie. We're old. We're older. Okay. Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, wait. I want to show you one thing.
Gmail.com.
I got...
Okay, bye-bye. Jeez. Yes, I'm sure. Let's see. Just in case you didn't know this, there are no men allowed on the panel. Oh my God, okay, there are no men permitted on the panel, and that's because, the conversation tends to degrade to some place that we're not interested in going. At least I'm not interested in going. And those last two yeses that I gave out there obviously were an example of that. We don't do that. Okay, so anybody else have any questions? Trolls. I don't care about trolls. Hi, Kevin. Okay. I do not deal with trolls at all. I mean, the way I deal with trolls is just ignore them and they go away. And I'm kind of too boring anyway. Okay, Alexis wants to know, do you pay taxes? Yes. My residency is in California. Subsequently, I'm paying both federal and state tax. Now, some RVers do the smart thing, and they set up their state of residency in a place that is no state tax. So that would be Florida, Nevada, Washington, maybe Oregon, or it's the other way around. Some states have no sales tax. I think Washington State has no income tax, state income tax, and Oregon has no sales tax. So, yes, I do pay taxes. And on income, I am continuing to work as I go. So, not real hard, but, I'm working. And, enjoying my life. I have been waiting a long time to have this lifestyle. And so, yeah, I'm really content doing this. And, that's another thing that you should consider is in determining why you want to be an RVer. You can't go into this thinking, I'm going to become an RVer and live for free. Okay, it's not free. And I'm going to travel all over. Well, yeah, you can do that. What else? I guess that's it. It is not free. This is not a free lifestyle. Depending on how you live and what you do, it can be very expensive. And but it depends on what you want to do. I am content, doing what I'm doing. This RV park that I'm in right now is $850 a month, inclusive. So that means that the electricity is included, the Wi-Fi is included, the water, sewage, everything is included. Okay. And, to me, that sounds way better than, $1,500 a month. I can drive to the beach. I don't need to park on it. Let's see. Let's answer this question. Alexis wants to know, is it easy to prepare? It is as easy to prepare meals in an RV as it is in your own kitchen. That's it. It depends on how many people you're cooking for. I cook for one. So it's relatively easy for me to do that. If you're cooking for, 4 people, it's going to be the same. Your pans just get bigger and things like that. So I'm able to use small pans and I don't have to worry about it. I do have larger pans in the event that, I go someplace and it's a potluck and I have to take potluck stuff. So, yeah, it's gas. So you're cooking on gas, which is, in my opinion, way better than electricity. I have an oven. Some of them don't have ovens. I do have an oven, and I like my oven. I have a microwave that I only use when I'm plugged in. I'm not starting the generator to use the microwave to heat up a cup of coffee. And that's basically all I use the microwave for, is just, heating things up. And so it's just, everything's as easy or as hard as you make it. So if you are organized, it's all good. If you're not organized, then it's going to be the same cooking in your own kitchen. Because if you're not organized there, you're not going to be organized here either. Let's see. Let's answer this question now. And this question is, again, from Alexis. I'm so glad you came, Alexis. Is it easy to receive real mail or shop online without an address? Once again, and I've said this in the past, well, that's why I said once again. When you have to have a state of residency, okay? So whatever state you want that to be, you have to go there and be a resident. Now, some states require that you stay in the state or live in the state or whatever 6 months. Other states are, if you're there for 10 days or 14 days or something, you're a resident. or 30 days, you're a resident. And subsequently, you know, you can have their license plates and everything. Now, I'm in California. It's fortunate for me that I'm able to do all of my bill paying and communication over the internet. Okay, for Amazon purchases or wherever purchases, I can do one of two things. If I'm at an RV park, I just put in care of this RV park, and then they're very good at getting packages out to people or mail. If you want to have people send you mail, snail mail, at an RV park, they usually accommodate you without a problem. If you, I don't know how people deal with bills if they don't pay them online, quite honestly. I haven't sat down and written out a check for a really long time. And speaking of checks, it is always a good idea to have some checks with you. And the reason for that is you will run into, as you travel the world, you'll run into places where they take cash or they take checks. They don't take plastic of any kind, which always just, what? Okay. This park that I'm in now only accepts cash or checks. And so, which is fine because I have, I don't know, I think I had the bank like print me 10 checks. And, I just put them away until somebody said, hey, write a check. Okay. For me, I do my banking through a credit union. And so I can withdraw money from any credit union. But as far as depositing money and things like that, all that stuff is direct for me. It's not, go write a check. Now, in the event that that does happen, I have my daughter in California, and she relays the information to me, and by phone usually. She'll send me a text message that has the attachment on it. It's usually junk mail, or how junk mail always makes it sound so important, but it isn't. But there is always a way to do this. You can order things from Amazon now, and they have lockers at a variety of locations, and you can just go to the locker and pick up your Amazon purchase. And I want to say that they hold it there for 5 days, I think. And then if you don't get it, then they send it back to Amazon, or Amazon comes and gets it or something. I don't know what the rules are. Some large towns, cities will have same day delivery. I'm not really sure how they're doing that. Whatever. I don't think I've ever, overnight's always been just fine. Being a Prime member on Amazon, if you're a full-time RVer or in your regular life, I suppose, if you shop Amazon, it is actually cost-effective to become a member of their Prime thing, their Prime membership. Okay, let's move to the next question. Is, did you have a large sink in your RV? Mine is so, okay. I have a double sink in my RV, in the kitchen. They're two smaller basins, like, yay, they're big. They're small, but they're fine. I wash dishes on one side and I, rinse them and we'll let them dry on the other. I don't have any problem with that. But again, I do dishes once a day because it's just me. The more people you have, obviously, the more dishes you'll have, in which case I suggest you go to paper plate. Okay. I hope I answered that for you, Silver Wolf. Do we have any other? Yeah. Did we get this one? Yeah, we did. Okay, here is our next question, which is, ooh. What is the most wonderful place you've been since being full-timing in your RV? That is really, really a tough question. But I'm just going to tell you the first thing that popped into my mind was the National Redwood Forest. I have to say that's just inspiring. Those trees are just amazing, and I would have to go with that. So California has them, along the coastline. You can see them. They're stunning. They take your breath away. They make you look up until you're dizzy. I would have to go with that. So, and I want to say that was in Northern California, where it was just so exquisitely beautiful. And I want to say I was there in, I don't know, June maybe? I'd have to look on my log. That's it. Oceans being oceans and whatever. Redwood Forest. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. I've been to a lot of places, seen a lot of really beautiful stuff, but those redwood trees are absolutely, put them on a bucket list if you haven't already been there. Okay, let's move on to our next question, which is how long exactly can your water or electric or even sewer last without being plugged in or using your generator? Okay. Again, depends on how many people are in your party. You have to know how big your tank is. My freshwater tank will probably last me, and I'm very thrifty with water, I would say 5 days. Now, the tank that fills up the fastest is your gray water tank. Okay, fills up very fast. And that's because you're taking showers. If you're letting the water run, which you don't do when you're, not plugged in or not plugged into water, but still that's the tank that fills up fastest. Don't know why. It's small. I don't know. It may be 30 gallon. But what I do is plug up the shower bathtub, plug it up, take my shower, and use that water and I put it in my toilet. Okay, the toilet's right next to it. It's just, bail. And it doesn't take very long to do. And what that does is keeps your black water tank, or it lets you, because you're not going to fill up your black water tank as fast as you're going to fill up your gray water tank. So it just offsets that and lets your gray tank last longer. So water, electricity. I have 2 house batteries in my RV. Okay. I want to say that those would probably last me. And the only thing that they turn on is the little lights, these little overhead lights. Okay. So you still have gas and you still have heat. But you have lights, you have no TV, there's none of that. There's no TV, I don't have solar panels. So if you have solar panels and you have a sunny day, then you can recharge your batteries easily enough. And that's basically what you do with your generator, is you just recharge your batteries and then shut it all off. Let's see, what else? Even sewer. Yeah, again, your sewer is going to last you the longest. But if you've got a generator, there's no reason not to use it. Now, a key thing about the generator is that the generator only works if you have more than a quarter of a tank, I think it is. You have to have at least a quarter of a tank, or it will not run. And that's to keep you from running out of, gas, basically. Okay, what's plop at gmail.com? No. Okay, the answer is no. Thanks. Stop trying to get in. You're not coming in. Let's see. Freshwater. Okay, so did I answer that? You use your generator. It's not that big a deal. And, you're only running it for a couple of hours. And, during that time, that's not when you turn on your TV or, you can because it'll work, or turn on your air conditioner, but you can, but it'll work. But basically your generator will be only generating enough power to run like the lights and the air conditioner and the TV sets and things like that. What you don't want to do is they're not charging up your battery. So that's kind of an important thing to remember, is you want to charge your battery. And if you're an RVer, you're not in your RV, but to clean up and leave. There's a lot of things to see. There's no reason to be in your RV. Okay, I hope I answered that question, Alexis. Next question is, let's see, your fresh water is how many gallons? 40. And do you carry extra totes of portable water with you? Yes. I carry roughly an additional 8 gallons, sometimes 10. And I do this if I know I'm going boondocking. I do not do this if I'm going to go to like an RV park. I don't do it. I keep the containers, but there's empty. If I know I'm going to go boondocking, I'll take the extra 8 or 10 gallons of water. And typically that's going to be wash water. It's not going to be drink. And then I carry a minimum of 4 gallons of fresh drinking water. I don't drink the water that comes out of this tap. It's just used to, wash things, meaning dishes. But yes, I would, if you're going to go someplace where you're not going to hook up or you're not going to have water available, yeah, you take the additional water. And if you're staying in an RV park or you're traveling from RV park to RV park, then you take the containers, but they're just empty, and because you don't need them. But the more water you put on board, and that's because they're heavy. Water is very heavy and affects your fuel mileage. So that's why, I don't bother. Okay, and answered that. So we're going to put that. Let's see. Okay. And then here is, do you have a full fridge and refrigerator? You mean like a full fridge at your house? No. Now, they are starting to put full-sized refrigerators in RVs. And the only thing that I can think of that would make sense for is where many people are traveling together. Okay. For me, the refrigerator and freezer I have is absolutely fine. It's pretty much full all the time. And, you eat out of it and then you go buy more. The freezer works great. You have to also consider that if you have the larger your refrigerator, when you're boondocking, when you're not hooked up, okay, let me explain this. Your refrigerator runs 3 different ways, okay? It will run off electricity when you're plugged in at an RV park. It'll run off propane when you're traveling from place to place or if you're boondocking. And it will also run off your generator, again, electricity. Your refrigerator and your RV automatically goes to whatever fuel it needs. If you're plugged in, it automatically goes to electric. If you unplug the electric, the propane automatically kicks on. And I can only say the bigger your refrigerator, the more propane you're going to go through. So if you haven't purchased an RV or you're thinking about buying an RV and you want a full-size refrigerator, and some people are taking out the smaller ones and putting in full-size. I just don't care that much. You know, you just aren't going to a lot of places where there's no food for long periods of time. And plus, I have a tow vehicle. I can get in my car and drive away and leave my RV where it is and go shopping and whatever. Okay. Full-size refrigerators, you know, you don't really need them. But mine works great. I mean, frozen stuff. And it always works great. And you have to defrost them. Unless you buy a newer one that is frost-free, you have to defrost. And basically, that means that when you get up in the morning, you turn it off. And then you wait all day and you don't open it, or you open it as few times as you can. And then the water flows out through a tube that's on the outside of your RV. And then before you go to bed, you turn it back on. Very easy. Okay, let me drink this. As a matter of fact, I defrosted mine yesterday. And believe me, you know when it's time to defrost. Okay, next question is, okay, do you ever stay in cold climate places, and how practical is that? Okay, let me address this issue. Let me answer the question. Hell no. Why would I do that? I don't go to cold places. I try to stay away from buggy places. Yeah, there is no reason, because your house is on wheels. If you're a full-time RVer, your house is on wheels. I think the coldest, when I was in Ocala, my water hose that feeds water into the RV froze. That's Ocala, Florida. Froze, and I had to wait till that thawed out before I would, be able to use that now, because you have a inside storage water tank and an electric pump that runs that. I just switched over to that and waited for it to thaw. You just kind of have to flow with it. Not take like too seriously. Okay, so we got that. No. I would never. Patrick sounds like a man's name. Patrick. Yeah, I'm going with that's a man. No man on the panel. But no, I never stay in cold climates. I stay in chilly climates. I have stayed in some chilly climates, but no cold climates. And RVs are not built for cold climates. These walls are very thin, and you will be very cold. And no matter how much you pump into, propane, you pump into your heater, you're not going to be able to heat the whole thing. And the other thing, if you are in a chilly area or a cold climate, and you are staying in an RV park, you can use electric space heaters. Now, typically, I wouldn't go about advertising that I'm running an electric heater, but it saves your propane. And if you're not getting charged for electricity, then plug in the heater. I have a heater going right now. And yes, I'm still in Florida, and I have a space heater, kind of keeping me warm. Is your Class A Winnebago? Yes, it is a Class A Winnebago, 26 foot. And I came out of I sold one, got into this one, and that was a 28 foot Class C. So I actually shrunk down a few feet that I missed. To have this Class A, but I was looking for a Winnebago Brave SE. Okay, so I was looking for a 2002, but whatever. This one was fine. And when I get really good at maneuvering around, maybe a year or two, a year or 3, I'll buy something newer. But just like cars, you crash them and they're junk. So you got to really consider that when you are. Am I breaking up badly? Here, how's that? Maybe that's better. You really want to consider that when you're choosing an RV. Is what's it going to look like crash, and how much does it fix? How much do you fix it for? YouTube channel for misadventures will show you someone at 22. Oh no, I know there are people who do it. And I'm sure they sleep in a bed with several blankets on it and probably sleep head to toe in fleece. Yeah, that's not an attractive feature for me. I don't want to get out and fight snow and cold. Yeah, there's no part of that sounds like fun. And she must be young because, I'm too old for that. Okay, do we have another question? Yes, we do. Let's see, who is this? Based God 333. What I need you to do, Based God 333, is tell me that you're a man or a woman. Hi, how are you? Yeah, because there are no men allowed on the video part of this. You can stay in the comments section, that's not a problem. But over the course of about a year, we have discovered that when men get on the panel, the conversation degrades into an area that we're not interested in. I'm interested in RV stuff. And Based God 333, you can write down your question, and I'm happy to answer it. Please don't ask me to explain anything. Oh, sure, Alexis. You're Alexis.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to move the camera so we can see you.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm a guy, actually.
There.
Yeah.
Alexis.
Yes. My parents.
Alexis.
Yes, my parents named me Alexis.
So tell us something about yourself.
Well, we live in a house.
Okay, Alexis.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you because of that. Never mind. Keep talking. Hello?
Well, I was asking questions because we have a high mortgage, and I've been asking questions. It sounds like an interesting thing to get into an RV. That's why.
It is really interesting.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're a man.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So I'm in violation of the rules here.
Yeah, you're in violation of the rules. And if I create one exception, then I have to create them all. So do you have any quick question that you want to ask me before you go away?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, I looked at Winnebago's website. Do people actually live in Class C Winnebagos also? Or those
Yeah.
They do?
Winnebago makes a great RV. Yeah. They're real solid. At least I can say that from the standpoint of this Class A. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a Coachman Class C, right, and I can say that is built very flimsy, sure, and don't get one of those.
Okay.
Again, YouTube is an excellent source to go to and type in, whatever vehicle you think you want, mm-hmm, and you will get all kinds of information and reviews on that.
Okay.
It's nice. Okay, I have to let you go now.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, I see her question. His question right there. Okay, and let's put that up. We answered it. It depends, again, it depends on how many people and how big your RV is. You always have to keep that in mind. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind as well is, that everybody wants to be there. If I've seen many husbands and wives traveling separately because, either she doesn't like it or he doesn't like it, or they've been doing it long enough and they don't want to do it anymore. So, they end up basically traveling like me alone. I'm in Canada, and if you buy a manufactured one here, it even comes with storm windows for winter camping. It does cost more for propane a month, but big buddy heaters help. Yeah, they do. But again, that's propane, and you have to buy it. Okay, did that one. So make that go away and answer question. You had a video about shortfalls of your RV TV antenna. No, it wasn't my RV TV antenna. It was just televisions. Have you considered dish, DirecTV, or cable through the RV parks? Quite frankly, I don't care. It's great to be able to turn on the TV and get the weather update. But I can also do that online. Other than that, I can get entertainment online. The thing that I was sharing with that is some people go out and buy these, 60-inch, huge, enormous televisions, and they put them in their RVs, which is all well and good. And if you are going to an RV park that offers cable, you got a big TV to watch cable on. But, I'm not, I don't do this life so that I can watch TV. And I like to watch the morning news just to make sure that, it's safe to go outside. But other than that, I don't care. I'll rent a movie, Redbox, something like that. I would rather do that. I'm not interested in commercials, car commercials, medication commercials. I'm not interested in any of it. So I just don't do that. Now, the cable companies do offer your own satellite or system, and it's satellite, that you can take with you. Some of these devices fit in your storage compartments, outside of your vehicle. Some of them mount to the roof. It's just basically, what are you interested in? If you're RVing to watch TV, then you might want to reconsider whether or not you need the RV part. But because there's so many great things to see, there's so many great places to go, to use that. To use the opportunity to travel around, just so you can watch TV in Texas is, not a good idea. But anyway, I was just throwing that in. For people who haven't seen that, that video, basically I said that when you're traveling and you're using your off-air antenna, which is what I have for my RV, you're basically going to get, 4 to 5 foreign language stations. I've seen both some kind of Asian language, Cantonese maybe, I'm not really sure, and then of course Spanish. Off air, you can get those. You can also get probably 3 to 4 religious channels. Again, don't watch those, so those things aren't interesting to me. And then usually you'll be able to get, depending on where you are, like one kind of news channel, local news, something like that. And then there's just the random channels that are off air, and it just depends on where you are. There's one here that shows black and white westerns, like 24/7, which I think is hysterical. No, I haven't watched any of them, but I still think it's funny. Okay, onward we go. Let's see. Okay, I did that one. Normal. Let's see. Ever go to Mexico? This is again from Alexis, or maybe it's Alex. Is D3000. Okay. Okay. Hang on to your questions over there. Let me ask you this. Let me answer this one. I was actually heading to Mexico, and was supposed to cross at the beginning of December. And then and this is basically what you have to do is check with the American consulate and see what they have to say about traveling in whatever country you're going to go to. And that's basically because they put out these notices and they tell you not to do it. And then when you go do it anyway, they're slow to help you because they told you not to go. So basically, the American Council was telling everybody after the Paris attacks that, any foreign travel, if it wasn't necessary, should not happen. And so I was actually going to the Yucatan, and I plan on going next year, 2017, or maybe 2018. I plan on going. But this time I'm going to get people who are interested in going, and we're all going to caravan together. And I looked into the caravanning thing, and they want $5,000 to $8,000 to be part of the caravan, and they're not going anywhere. Now I want to go. They're going to Copper Canyon. I don't want to go there. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's great, but no. I want to go down and see, really cool stuff, Aztec stuff. I want to see cool stuff. Okay. Hi, Russ. I do see you there. I'm going to put Norma's question up here now. RV furniture and cushion sink. I have been replacing mine as time goes on. Yeah, it's just like any piece of furniture. You have to freshen them up occasionally. I am very good at flipping my cushions on my dinette, and they're interchangeable. So I flip them different sides, and I do this often. I do this like monthly. Because I want to be able to wear them down, all over, not just in one place. So, but yeah, it's like anything that you do. It's, you have to keep everything up, and it's just like a house. Need a new mattress, you go get one. Your overstuffed chair isn't overstuffed anymore. You go restuff it. Okay, I hope I answered that, Norma. Okay, now let me see. There were some questions over here, and it had something to do with laundry. When boondocking, and how often do you do laundry? Keyword you. There are devices that you can buy. They also make a RV washer dryer. It sells for, I don't know, $1,500 or something, and it's a one unit, and at first it washes and then it dries. I don't know that it's worth $1,500, but typically what I do is I wash I have this phobia about laundromats. I wash my delicates, shall we say, I hand wash those here, and then I hang them up and let them dry. The other things, the outer clothes, if you will, yeah, and my sheets and linens and things like that, yeah, I go to a laundromat. Most RV parks that you'll stay in will have laundromats, and you're paying something $2 a load to wash and then $2 to dry, something like that. And, there's always drop it off at a cleaners and have them fluff and fold, and then you just come by and pick it up later. It depends on what your budget is. But I hand wash. I don't use any particulars. I use a basin and, hand agitation is basically how I handle that. I have food. How many days of food do I store? With boondocking. And how often do you do laundry? Keyword you. Okay, thanks for reposting that. As far as excuse me. As far as food goes, when I'm boondocking, it depends on how long I'm going to be out there. If I'm going to be out there 5 days, that's hardly any food at all. If I'm going to be out there 10 days, that takes a little more consideration. And basically, you buy things, everything in your RV is about weight. Okay. It is, you don't buy cans of food because they weigh a lot. Unless you can transfer those things into baggies or something. You really have to think about all of those things, the weight of a pound of rice, and then store it appropriately. But as far as, I just buy whatever. And when I run out, again, I'm fortunate in that I have a vehicle that I can get in and not have to take my RV, and I can just run to a grocery store, even if it's 25 or 30 miles away, and then turn around and drive back. It depends on and how long you're going to go. I mean, you know how to do this. It's just like buying groceries at the grocery store for yourself at your house for a week. What do you want to buy? What do you want to eat? Things like that. I'm sure for the first few times that an RVer goes out and boondocks, or even just has the RV, they're going to pack like s'mores and all that camping stuff. But you move past that when it's, when you're full timing, you just don't do that. It's unnecessary. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Answer question. Here it is. I don't know what this means. Do you strip all your Bravery packages off before you put them into your RV? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So explain better. Grocery packages. It depends. When I go and buy chicken, I'm buying 10 chicken breasts. Okay. I'm individually wrapping those if they're not already wrapped, and then I'm throwing them in my freezer and I get them out and use them, as I need them. If I am, here, before I change to a different way of eating, I would buy those frozen pizzas. Now, some of those frozen pizzas are too big for your freezer if you leave them in the box. So they're in plastic already. Just pull them out, throw the paper or the cardboard away, or use it to start your fire or whatever. You really just, you're going to be your best judge over time as to what works, what doesn't work. I don't keep the excess. I mean, I have to think about that for a minute. Yeah, the only thing that I buy that Greek yogurt, and it comes like 6 of them or something like that in a package. I usually just slide those into the refrigerator and use them when it gets down to, a few of them, then I just get rid of the packaging. It's basically, what works. I have containers for rice and flour and sugar and things like that. I don't keep those things in boxes. And the reason I don't do that is because of ants. And you have to consider insects and mice when you are RVing, because, they'll get in. They'll come visit. They'll want to stay. Okay, let's go to answer next question. Next question is, do you ever worry about safety? Sure, all the time. You can't help but, I don't really worry about it. I'm prepared, okay? I have prepared this RV for me to be able to defend. Nobody knows this RV better than me, except the people who owned it before. And so that enables me to know what I would do, what windows I can jump out of and run. How I can defend. I've got mace and I've got all kinds of stuff. A really good deterrent is, interestingly enough, for bears and human beings, is wasp spray. And you buy it wherever, Walmart. And what wasp spray does is it shoots like 30 feet away, okay, in a straight line. It's vicious. It's cool. And it works for bears and it works for humans. If somebody shows up with a gun, I'm not going outside. I'm not looking out the windows. If they want to shoot up the place, then c'est la vie. I don't worry about, no, don't worry. I really don't. I'm prepared. So when you're prepared, you don't worry. It's when you're unprepared. That's when it causes worry. So, no, I'm quite prepared. So, no, I don't worry about it. And I haven't had any reason to worry about it, by the way. I do have a sign on my RV that says, beware of dog. And I don't have a dog. That is a deterrent for when I'm not here. And people think, maybe there's a dog in there. Okay. So, I find that just having the sign works well. If typically when I pull into a new area, if I get vibes of, this is not safe here, well, then I drive away. The other thing is that I have several pairs of shoes, some men's shoes, mostly my shoes, boots, hiking boots, stuff like that. And I put those outside the door because it looks like then there are many people in the RV instead of just me. So, these are all little things, little tricks that you can do that help keep you safe, I guess. I don't look for any kind of dangerous situation. And I think that's a really wise thing to do. Pretty much why I'm not in Mexico. I'm really kicking myself about that too. Okay, let's see. Do you keep pets? Is that possible? Yes, it's absolutely possible. There are many RVers that have dogs and cats and birds and reptiles and all kinds of stuff. If you have a pet that you want to have travel with you, then of course you have them travel. You make them safe. You figure that they've got to have seatbelts and all that stuff. So they're not running around or causing a commotion while you're driving down the road. But most of the RV parks have no problem with animals. And if they do, well, you wouldn't want to stay there anyway. And I've only run into a couple of RV parks where there were no pets allowed. And, of course, it was also 55 and up. And what else was it? Something else, I can't remember. But, all the RV parks have their rules, and you respect those rules. Or they kick you out and they don't refund your money. Okay. Max, you sound like a guy to me. So my answer is no. There are no men allowed to be on the video because we have learned that the combination, we've just learned that it degrades the conversation immensely. Things get out of control. Things get, on topics that I'm not interested in. I don't do like cold climates, but what are your thoughts on upgraded climate packages for heat and cold insulation benefits? I have no thoughts. I have absolutely no thoughts on those. Again, it's the kind of RVing that you want to do. It's, I've never looked into those things because, I just, as RV or TV says, I just drive towards warmer climates or south. I don't do cold. It's not fun. It makes me want to get in bed and pull lots of covers over my head and sleep, and that's like the last thing I want to do. That's funny. And Alex is D3000. Thank you for asking all your questions. It was very fun. This is why we don't ask men to join our panel. This is the prime example. And this is what I say about the degrading way that men utilize social media. And, yeah, disgusting. I think it's disgusting. You know, if you want to like talk to your friends like that, that's fine. But I'm a stranger. I don't know you. And now I feel like I do know you, and you are probably a future pedophile of some kind. Okay. Let's see. Do you keep any pets? We got that one. Okay, let's see if we can get this one. I know. So, oh, the food thing. Yeah, we already got that. And it's boondocking. B-O-O-N, like in the Boondocks. You know that song. Out in the Boondocks. You know that song. Let's see. Anything else? My personal got that. Okay. We have 15 minutes left in our show today. And basically, this is a 90-minute program that I do every Sunday. And usually there are women on the panel. But again, with the Super Bowl, I wasn't really expecting. I think the audience was rather larger than what I was expecting. I appreciate that. We do this every Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern on Blab. You can find out about it over on my channel on YouTube at YouTube/RV Lady something. I don't know. Just search RV Lady. You'll find me. And yeah, it was a really good show tonight. I agree with that, Gib Grand. I absolutely agree. And that's what this is supposed to be about, is sharing information, telling you what we on the panel or me on the panel know about this kind of life, because it is really intriguing to a lot of people. And it is, you know, a wonderful way to live as long as you do it right. And there are a lot of people that don't do it right. And over on YouTube, we call those e-beggars. And basically what they do is they live off the donations that people, for whatever reason, send them so that they can continue a lifestyle that they can't afford. So it's kind of a weird thing, but, you know, it's you know, there are just people who do this. They go and make whatever videos about, you know, my engine's blown up and I need money, you know, please send me money. And people do. It's amazing. And that's because basically, as RVers, we know what it's like to be, okay, I don't, but people get stranded in particular situations. And that's one thing that you want to do when you're an RVer, is have plan B, plan C, plan D, safety net, safety net, safety net. And so whatever happens, you've got a plan. And, you know, if somebody runs into your RV, well, that's your house. So while it's being fixed, where are you going to live? You know, your engine could break down and it requires a mechanic to work on it, and they aren't going to let you stay in the RV. So you got to have a plan. Yeah. Nana's Joy is watching the Super Bowl tonight. And she was, I'll put this up. She was going to join us. She's over at somebody's house watching the Super Bowl, which she doesn't care about. So she was going to, you know, just slip away and join us. And then she sent me a text message that said something to the effect of she couldn't do that. There were more people going to be there than she thought. And it'll probably be too loud and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, she's eating snacks and watching the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think the snacks are as important at a Super Bowl party as anything else. Let's see. There are men who have RV talks here on Blab. Yes, on Blab, on Fridays, There are a couple of guys that do an RV-ish kind of talk. And I can't remember what time they're on. Does anybody know? I can't remember what time they're on. But I know it's on Fridays and it's probably relatively late. Late afternoon. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's all I have to say about that. No. I don't have anything to say about that. For me, it's about the RV. It's not about anything else. It's not about quadcopters, and it's not about, quadcopters are interesting. God knows I'd love to have one. But as far as actually paying money for one, like $1,000, no, that's not me. Let's see, anything else out there? Any other questions? Anything anybody wants to add? No. We got 10 minutes. What am I going to say for 10 minutes? Let me drink this. Ugh. My throat gets so dry just talking. I'm getting one when I sell my house. Oh, hi. House and get an RV. Sing a song. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Where's Adele? I don't know. Adele is someone who joins me on panel and hasn't for the last few weeks. And I don't know where she's been. And yet I feel like I should know. Like, I think she sent me a private message that said that she was going to be taking care of some stuff and she wouldn't be around for a couple of weeks. Thanks for coming, Russ. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And I read that if something goes wrong with the drivetrain of Class A, it can run into 5 figures. Scary. Again, if you've never had an RV and you've never driven an RV, get a practice RV so that you can learn. My Class C was a practice RV. This Class A is a practice Class A. And that way, if anything goes wrong, I learn how to fix it. But yeah, depending on your vehicle, it can absolutely run into 5 figures. Absolutely. And these are the things that, not a question, but tomorrow evening we sign the papers on a Fleetwood Bounder. What year? Because I would say, no, don't do it. Now, I looked at many RVs. And the Fleetwood Bounder, depending on what year, okay, is it like new? Is it old? 1990. I would run away from that. I would run. Unless it looks brand new and whoever the seller is guaranteeing it, I'd run. The reason I say that, in 1990, I'd run. I mean, is it like, $500? If it's like $500, yeah, buy it. What the hell? Make it out of your practice RV. $2,500. Does it have new tires? Mama will? Pretty close. Well, find out. It may look like it has good tread on it, and that's because a lot of RVs sit around a long time. And your tires can be rotting from the inside out. So basically, yeah, it looks like a really great tire until you're moving down the road at 55, 60 miles an hour, and your tires blow out, and then you find out that the tire is 10 years old. So there is a way to check the tires to see what the age is. I don't know how that is, but there is a way to do it. But $2,500 isn't too bad. It depends on the engine. They're real flimsy. They're not made tight. You know what I mean? They're not, you hear them rattling down the road. And but if it's in good shape and you've got some kind of guarantees on it, then fabulous. Check the roof, check the tires, check the engine. Those are the things that are going to go bad. And again, on the tires, roofs, you don't know that they leak until they're being rained on, and then you find out how much leakage you have. I want to say the Bounder is a rubber roof, and they can get basically a rubber roof is plywood. Okay, yeah, it's plywood, and then it is a real heavy-duty plastic cloth, if you will, that is glued down to that, and that's it. That's your roof, and they have to be cleaned and maintained. Muy importante. If you sit them in the sun too long, they just rot. If the plywood underneath gets wet and you can't tell that it's wet, it rots. And I think the Bounder has that plastic or that roof. Maybe. I hope he got them. Let's see. Up until August, he used this one all the time. That is a good thing. You really don't want to. An RV is like any other vehicle. If you're not going to use it, it's going to sit and rust and just become a mess. You want to make sure that, if they are being stored, they're being stored in on top of concrete. And if you put it on the ground, if it's stored on the ground, then the rust just rusts from the bottom up. And everything up above will look really great. And you look underneath and rust. But I redid my roof on my Class C. So, yeah, I know a little bit about roofs. One of the reasons why I wanted this Winnebago was because it has a fiberglass roof. Basically, a tree would have to fall on it for it to crack and leak. So as long as you can keep trees off it, I think you're in pretty good shape. But yeah, I spent a lot of time researching RVs, and I knew I wanted to start an RV. In my Class C, my first, my second RV was a Class C, and he just put a rubber roof on last year, I think he said. We'll find out for sure. Find out if he said he cleaned it or if he put a new roof on. And if he says, I put a new roof on, say, did you just coat it or did you remove the plastic and replace the entire roof, the plywood and everything? I removed the plastic. Okay. Okay, good to know. On my Class C, it leaked, but I paid $500 for it. Okay, $500. It was a '94 Class C. What did I call it? Coachman Santera, 28 feet long. But I knew. And the guy said, it's got transmission problems. It's got this, that, the other. He just wanted to get rid of it. Oh, and he had crashed it in the back. So there were things that had to be repaired. I had the, everything gone over by a mechanic that I trust, an RV mechanic. I had him go over everything. So he couldn't find anything wrong with the transmission other than there was no transmission fluid in it, which there wasn't. And let's see. I'm watching the talk over here on the side, and I can tell who the men are, which is horrible. It's a horrible thing. I don't know why people do that, but we only have 1 more minute left. If you have any other questions, you can save them for next Sunday. If you have any comments or something that you want to share, you can do that over on, I'm going to post this blab on YouTube on my channel, RV Lady, and you can go over there and post any comments that aren't like the comments I'm seeing now. Put questions about RVing. If you have any topics that you would like to cover, let me know what they are. Basically, when I don't really have a topic, and like last week's topic was the things that you should have in your RV for safety, you know, and then I just go through everything, or who's ever on the panel, you know, they all know, and they share their thoughts on, you know, RV safety, you know, beyond having a fire extinguisher and a, you know, crappy first aid kit. You know, we went beyond that. So there are things that we need to screen these guys out. You know, they're kids, and this is over now. And I want to thank everybody for coming by, except for those kids with the really, really bad manners. And I hope you all join me next week, same time, same station. And that's it. Go out in the world and be safe and be brave. You're welcome. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye.